Hello, I am Denise Campo y Mireles, the lead scientist of this project called Orgon AirWater. Our proposal for this Fund 9, it's called Harvesting AirWater for Agriculture. What is the problem we want to solve? Droughts, which are becoming more evident around the planet as a consequence of global warming and bad government decisions, at least here in Mexico. The droughts is mainly affecting the agricultural sector, causing a shortage of production and therefore of food, and as a consequence, also causing economic issues. Solution. It has been demonstrated that water harvesting from the air can supply small rural communities in arid and semi-arid regions through mesh screens that agglomerate the water droplets and flow by gravity into a reservoir. Using this principle, Orgon AirWater wants to offer an alternative source of water to farmers by installing air water collectors integrating blockchain technology. The project consists of two phases. Phase one is the design, construction, operation of the water supply system, monitoring and evaluation, as well as the creation of a decentralized database platform for monitoring environmental parameters and water productivity of the catchment system. The phase two is the implementation of Cardano's blockchain technology with the development of a DA for efficient irrigation scheduling and control in the crop, and the creation of a collaborative token when the investor through this token obtains a profitability in the production of the crop and generates a percentage of profit. But in order to meet this objective, we need to build the prototype as a first step, which is why our proposal for this Fund 9 is focused only on phase one. We want to build the prototype and carry out a research whose main objective is to determine the volume of air water captured by day and verify that it meets the demand for sustainable cultivation, and thus calculate the number of water collection systems per hectare needed to supply the crop. The water collection system is divided into three stages. Stage one involves the construction of a vertical structure of 10 meters high made of bamboo. Inside, it will place 330 square meters of rust shell mesh, which traps the moisture suspended in the air and makes the water droplets condense to the storage tank. The stage two is the water storage tank that will be underground to protect the water from sunlight, away from all sources of heat, light, and atmospheric influences, made of terracotta, a natural material that will be sealed with beeswax, so that it has a certain porosity and allows the water to breathe. And will have a capacity of 4 cubic meters. A cyclic hydraulic pump will be used, which uses the kinetic energy of a water hammer and does not require external energy input. And the stage three is the development of prototypes to measuring environmental parameters and water level. Here, we propose the development of two measurement prototypes, one for environmental parameters that will measure temperature, relative humidity, lighting, CO2, and wind speed, and the other for water level. These devices will communicate by radio frequency with a data concentrator in charge of receiving, storing, and sending the data from the sensors with a small power consumption, which will have access to the internet and will be able to consult the values in daily, monthly, and annual periods. The concentrator will send the data to a web platform where it will be stored and presented. The environmental parameters and water level device will have a battery and a solar panel to charge the battery. For monitoring and evaluation, reports will be made with the values and data obtained to measure the efficiency of air water collection using the following calculation. Eta col equals eta AE by eta cap by eta DR. The water collection efficiency, which is expressed as eta col, to which three factors are attributed this: eta AE, the water content of the air; eta cap, the interaction between the wind and the netting; and eta DR, drainage efficiency, that represents the fraction of the water in the air that travels to the gutter after hitting the mesh; and the number of air water collection systems per hectare of land required to meet crop demand will be calculated. The amount of air water draining from the screen will depend on the droplet size, the surface tension of the droplet, and the diameter of the screen bottom. How successful is this project? According to other studies, it is expected to collect a minimum of 3 liters of water per day per square meter per day, and a maximum of 35 liters per square meter per day. So the prototype system is expected to collect a minimum of 919 liters of water per day. This data variation is closely related to the environmental factors of the site where the system will be placed. And our work team is composed by Saúl Lopez, is a civil engineer with a focus on water resources management. Renato Zamudio, a programmer with 10 years of experience as a developer of several programming languages like Java, PHP, JavaScript, Python, Haskell; Emilio Ramirez, a graphic designer; Roberto Hers, an expert in digital marketing; Juan Sierra, our advisor; and myself. I am a biologist with 8 years of experience in environmental consultancy, and I am currently working with avocado growers here in Mexico, where this problem of longer drought periods and decreased production is occurring. And what we want to achieve with this project is to provide this indispensable resource to environmental sensitive areas in a sustainable manner. So thank you, all of you, for putting this event together. And now is the time for questions.
Thank you so much for that beautiful explanation. If you can see the chat, you seem to have a lot of interests within just the messages. So I'm sure there's a lot of amazing questions coming your way as well. I'm opening up the room for anyone to ask any questions, but an absolutely beautiful work here.
Thank you.
I'm sorry, I didn't get your. Are you Denise? What's your name?
What?
What?
My name is Denise. Yes.
Okay. What beautiful project? Where are you on the timeline, and what is the first sort of deliverable? Like, what can we expect? I don't imagine that I can go on to a website and order a giant fog collector. But what are the first deliverables?
Okay. Here I need the help of Juan.
Yes. Norman, thank you. Yes, basically the target for this project is local for farmers in Mexico, and they will start with, I forgot the city that is going to be implemented. Can you help me with that, Denise? The city that is going to be the town that is going to be the first installation.
Michoacán. It's called Michoacán, Mexico, and is the origin of crops, avocado crops here.
Okay, yeah. What they will be doing is installing this system in places where they have drought situation as we speak. And it's actually avocado hash farms in Michoacan. And eventually this is going to be make available to other areas. And as you can see, it has tremendous impact as far as the installation because everything is uh, is uh, is
Natural elements.
natural elements. Yeah, thank you, Dennis. That answers your question, Eman.
Yes, that does. That does. It's a prototype project in Michigan, Mexico for avocado or an avocado plantation or avocado farm.
Michoacán.
How do you say it again?
Yes. Michoacán.
Michoacán. Thank you.
Exactly.
Yes.
Super.
Yeah,
I want
thanks.
to have the opportunity to say a little bit about this project. The thing is, it addresses not only the droughts, the water scarcity, the food production, the deforestation, the climate change issue with carbon registration. Also, it does impact tremendously farmers' adoption, which is very important for Cardano. To get to that type of clientele or use that really needs this help, needs this technology to improve, their processes.
I have a question. Thanks, Dennis. Beautiful project. I've seen similar AirWater using cloths instead of mesh on mountains, like tea plantations, like that mountainous region. But when we look from the real need standpoint, it's in the drought region. So, is there a major difference when we look the fog they collect in those regions where it is already rich from fog and the mountain has better condensation versus a true drought area where it is the need is there, but there is no fog. There is not much condensation happening in the real world in the drought region.
Do you get the question?
Always the relative humidity on the air is always present, always. Sometimes is in a bigger percentage and other times in a minor percentage, but always is there present. These collector systems are situated in arid regions and they capture water. So I think it is not a problem that are in arid and semi-arid regions. It can implement this technology. The difference here is what is the volume of water we can capture depending on the land, of the ubication of the land. And in base of that data, we can calculate the number of collectors to a vast, so supply the water for the crop in this place specifically.
Okay. I saw it more with respect to drinking water than with the crop irrigation, like people really needing the water, high quality water in this case, the condensation, clean water for drinking. But I haven't seen it for crop irrigation where the need for water is a lot more. So is there the amount of water, is there a efficiency aspect in this, like you mentioned, which is it truly viable from a crop versus a drinking need in those zones.
No, that's where my question was about to be there. So, is there any, did I miss? Did you mention any quality of the water that is like getting collected, like any mineral contents or uh, the pH levels and stuffs like that? Like, did I miss? And you mentioned it, like I'm not sure.
The quality of the water, no,
Okay.
because it's only for agricultural sector.
Mm-hmm.
But if they want implemented for water, I don't know how to say
Drinking water.
drinking,
Drinking
drink
water.
water. It's need another process to the purification of the water.
Okay.
Right. I just want to add to that water that is going to be collected there is going to be ready in prime condition to be prepared for drinking. So I mean, I actually see a huge opportunity on that front as well, because we are talking about 261 gallons of water per day collected. It's a lot of water that each of those stations are going to be able to collect. So I think it's a great opportunity. Thank you for that recommendation. It's actually a good idea to pursue. Yeah.
I mean, if this possibly scales, I guess the water problem in and around the world is probably solved. So you have us behind you no matter what. We'll definitely, if anything, if there's any assistance you need from any of us here, our doors are open for you. So thank you so
Thank you
much.
so much.
But yes, I'm sure there are more questions. If not, I believe there are a few questions in the chat, but I'm not sure if they were already answered. So if you could just go scroll up. I believe Danila had a few questions. Danila, are you here? Okay, I believe he's not here. That's all right. So I believe his question was, in your vision, what is needed for air capture systems to expand exponentially, like solar panels and wind turbines? Did you guys catch that, Denise?
No, I'm sorry.
Awesome. So we had few questions in the chat, and I believe
Okay.
Daniela left. So I'm just asking those questions. The first one was, like, how long is it going to take to scale to give this as a solution for, or something compared to solar or turbine, you know, be it industrial or commercial? Do you have like an idea on a timeline, or is that still?
Well, I don't know if I understand, but I think the answer for that question is to expand exponentially this system, like panel solars and wind turbines. Well, now in this phase of our proposal, we are seeing from regional vision. So we want to answer first if we can solve this demand in crops with this vision, but it's I don't know. I don't see to expand exponentially and use panel solar or wind turbines and make capture more abundant of water from rivers or something like that. But it's a good idea, and when we it's a good idea, and we think about that too. I don't know if answered the question.
No, I mean, yeah, that kind of answers the question. Yeah, go on.
Yeah, I do apologize. I was concentrating on the chat and I did not hear the question. So But
And so I believe I'm just going to copy paste the message on the chat again. So it's going to be the latest one. Did you see this message?
Another question is there a website, Twitter, Telegram, etc.? We are a new project. This project built a month ago, and we are build the website, but the website is, I'm writing on the chat. It's in construction, so you can see a few things here. And if you want to contact us, I share the link from the idea skill, and there is my LinkedIn, and you can write me over there.
Awesome. Thank you so much for that. Yeah, so she just sent it to me on the private message. I'm just gonna, there you go.
Just 1 second. So there is the link.
Yeah.
And well, I don't know if there is another question.
Yeah, the stage is still open for any other questions from anyone. If not, I mean, we still have like a lot of time because one of the proposals did not come. I just want to confirm again if we have outgoing, it's going places as the title of the proposal. I don't see anyone taking up that. Well, yes. Yeah.
Denise, I want to say congratulations ahead of time. What you're working on is super impactful, and I can't wait for a successful delivery of this project and future proposals from the team. Thanks for being part of the Catalyst community.
Thank you so much.
One more question, Denise. Do you, if you were to scale it down to a smaller structure, will that impact for you, like instead of 300 meters square, if it is smaller?
Juan, can you help me?
Si tú quisieras escalar, hacer pequeños prototipos, ¿eso sería posible?
¿Cómo? No, es que se me está cortando y no escucho bien.
Ya. I think the question goes, la pregunta es si tú quisieras hacer pequeños prototipos de este proyecto, ¿eso sería posible y está dentro de tu visión?
More smaller than this presentation or the idea that we have in
I mean,
this.
I believe that water tower. So in that water tower, you had said around 330 meters square. So if we were to bring that number down, would it still be as efficient? Would it work? Is it possible? How feasible is it?
Ya. Si bajas la cantidad de agua el tamaño de la reserva, por ejemplo, de 330 galones a menos, ¿crees que todavía sea posible trabajar este proyecto?
Yes, always, because the water is there every time and mostly at night. So it's an opportunity to capture this water and don't miss that water in other places. So see if communities without water are implemented this technology and they have awesome results. So there is no doubt for us.
So,
Good
George, I
question.
believe it's like the more there is, the more water that gets made. But by scaling it to different size, I think we just don't capture the entire humidity within the air.
Okay. Yeah. I was thinking like if we were to make it like a residential, like small scale, even can it be instead of a large scale irrigation, can it be also at a home level use if it is smaller structure? And is that so? The prototyping, when we say large scale versus the smaller scale, and being more applicable to residential applications too at a smaller size.
Yes, can build some minor, but the capture of water is going to be minor too. So if the idea of bring water to some communities, I think we need to go and see our vision about where places is going to be build this infrastructure and make a red, ¿cómo se dice red, Juan?
Network. Net.
Had to capture in one tank all the water that provides this system, each one of these systems. And in this tank gave them water to the houses that they needed. I don't know if answer. I think the possibilities of build this infrastructure, the point of view of agriculture and a point of view of drink of water, it's always maleable. ¿Cómo se dice? Maleable.
Adaptable, I will say.
Exactly.
Adaptable.
It's
Thank you.
adaptable.
Thank
Adaptable.
So that's great. So we do have your links. And if there's any other questions, or if you guys would like to move to your own private space at the back of the area, I think if there are more questions, I'm sure some of them got missed in some of the projects. But apart from that, thank you all so much for coming here today to give you guys a certain update. We're just giving a space for Catalyst projects to voice out and be more open and communal about it. So this is the second day of this event. We have the event for tomorrow and day after. There are some amazing projects that are coming out over there. I'm sending a link on the chat where you guys can see all the other beautiful projects that are coming out. If you wanted to get more ideas on that, if you wanted to vote for them, if you want to collaborate with them, they will be here tomorrow at the same time. So feel free to drop in.